Hey guys, welcome. As you can tell, we're not in our normal little spots. We're actually in a cemetery right down the street from Madison Seminary in Madison, Ohio.
That wasn't supposed to be a tit shot. That was just to show that her shirt says where we are. Really soon. And then we have Mel with us. She's my cousin, Kim's friend, and another person who is into ghost hunting. It's just going to be us three for the night. There is going to be a tour. We're right down the road from Madison Seminary, and I guess it used to be part of the property.
Yes.
And I guess there are at least one resident, probably multiple residents buried in here. Just a small little cemetery. But yeah, we're just kind of killing time until it's time to actually go on the ghost hunt, because we can go anytime, but it's only a little after 6 right now. So, all right. This is actually one of the people that is buried here from Madison, Elizabeth Stiles. What was her story again, Kim?
Oh my gosh, why can't I think? Oh, she basically became like a Union spy. And,
that's right. Yep. Yeah. You'll hear
really
more
good
about
with a gun, apparently.
Yeah. You'll hear. Actually, you know what? No, I don't think I did film this part of the tour, actually. Because it was at the beginning, and that's when there was a bird in the room. And it's the only thing I didn't film. But she watched her husband get murdered in front of her, right? And then she became known as the woman that was too pretty to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because apparently they didn't shoot her because she escaped, and they were going to shoot her, and they said she's too pretty to shoot. And then she became like a Union spy and stuff. Kind of almost sounded like a good movie. It really did sound like
really does.
A good cinematic movie. But yeah, we actually did. It's just this little tiny grave, but it's cool that we found it. Hey, look, it's Kim.
Hey.
We are, as you see, we have now arrived. This place is quite large.
Yes. Very much.
And because I don't think we touch on it at all, and in the tour they don't really say much. So what all was this place used for, Kim?
It was originally built in 1847 as a school for boys. That's where the seminary comes in. They basically were taught high school and more, and they actually became lawyers and teachers and things like that from their education here. They didn't have to go to college. That's how high this education went here.
Okay.
And then it was also a home for women and children that were convalesced from Civil War. I think that's the right word. And then it was also like a group home and a hospital and an asylum. It did have some inmates here from a local prison as well, which I think some of that gets covered in the tour. So
yeah, there's some stuff, but she doesn't really say exactly. But yeah, this building's been used for quite a bit, and there is quite some history.
Yes.
And we'll probably, I assume, just cut to the tour now.
And over 170 years of history, all piled into one. It was a school for boys. It was the Women's Relief Corps. It was a place for the elderly. It was a place for Marines, sailors, their wives, their widows, their sisters, their mothers, criminally insane, mentally insane, mentally handicapped, and physically handicapped. We had Cleveland Correctionals run out of here for a little bit. They're the ones who brought in the criminally insane. And then 1904 to 1974, it was known as the Madison Home. It was a place for the elderly, and plus all those other people. During that time, 1952, was it, Blanche Jacobs? 1956. Blanche Jacobs was here as an honor inmate. They brought in this program called Opportunity Village. They bring in the honor inmates to rehabilitate them. They were from the Marysville prison that's still open today down in southern Ohio. And they would house up to 13 women, and they would all be housed in these rooms down here. Blanche was actually here for double homicide. In 1956, she was writing checks against her landlords, who were her next door neighbors, and she's really good friends with them. They call her and tell her, we know you're doing this, we're going to have to prosecute you if you don't, because today she already done over $1,000 worth of checks. So that night she goes next door to their house. They have like a split level home. They had the kitchen upstairs and a kitchen downstairs. The elderly lady, Mrs. Robinson, she was 73, her husband was 74 at the time. She was downstairs baking pies. Blanche comes in talking to her. Something happened, it escalated. Blanche grabbed a rolling pin and hit her over the head with it. She falls to the floor. The husband hears the commotion. He comes running down the stairs, and as they pass, Blanche actually ran up past him to the top kitchen, grabbed some kind of butcher's knife, or no, it wasn't butcher's. What was it? What was the knife?
I don't know what kind of knife.
It was a kitchen knife of some sort, but she sliced him to death. She didn't stab him. She like sliced him to death. And he falls dead. She runs down the stairs. The lady actually woke up and was trying to get out and was already in the garage. Blanche had to pull her back into the kitchen, threw her down on the floor, and then sliced her up. Didn't take the time to stab him. Literally, it was just slashes. Then it becomes premeditated murder because then she takes these two bodies and she puts them in the bathtub upstairs and then cleans the whole house. Goes home to her husband and 3 children, telling them that they went on vacation, went to visit family, stuff like that for 3 days. Then finally she tells her husband, I killed the neighbors. He says, no, you didn't. And she's like, yeah, I did. She physically had to take him to the bodies and show him that I did this. She then goes to Marysville Prison for 4 months before coming here as an honor inmate to be rehabilitated. We were trying to figure out how that's possible. This was military ran for most of the time that it was open. And he was a military man, a major in the Air Force. So we think he had some kind of pull with getting her to safety quicker, a more stable environment where she was learning a skill so she could be rehabilitated and paroled. While she was here, she became the caretaker's basically nanny. She would take care of their children while they were here. And they're still alive today, and they were just out recently, Mark and Judy Nixon. They came out and they told us all about the building. They said, Blanche was a beautiful woman. She baked us pies, we get us off the bus, she went to my wedding, all this stuff. So I guess everybody has a bad day once in a while.
She sliced up the neighbors.
Right, but she was a good woman. But while she was in there, she'd actually tried to claim insanity. She refused to eat anything. But the psychiatrist basically said, there's nothing wrong with her, she's not insane, she's just evil. So, I don't know who she had fooled. But down here, paranormal-wise, we get a man who likes to hang out, who really likes women a lot. We found if you put a couple women in a room and a couple men in another room, the women get the more activity than they would if men will get like nothing. We've actually had men walk in while the women were getting activity, and it stops.
And that's mainly, is that anywhere down here? Or
Anywhere down here. He usually generally hangs out in that bathroom back there and that other room over by Chelsea.
Okay.
But he's known to go all over. We have volunteers that don't like these 2 rooms. Unfortunately, our ceiling came down a little bit here, so we have this room closed right now, but you're welcome to go in here. We've had a lot of reports of activity in that room also. We do get a woman down here once in a while. I don't feel it's Blanche. We've never gotten her name. Blanche didn't die here. She actually got out, paroled, and was living her own life. So I don't know exactly who it would be. We haven't got a name, but we do get a woman. And sometimes we even get a child that comes across down here. This would have been where the women would come down to eat, or anybody that could that wasn't handicapped or unable to get up and down the stairs. There would have been no elevators back then.
Oh, no.
There's actually a dumbwaiter that goes all the way up to the 4th floor Asylum, where they tell us that they never had patients at, but yet food goes up there, and we have a laundry chute that goes up there. Doesn't make any sense for it to be just storage. We have access to food. That picture over there is actually one of the very few pictures we have of operations in the building. It's from 1953, and it's from the elderly women when they were here. For the ones that were here for dementia and senile, it was taken right over in this corner. We do have a friendly ghost down here that we've kind of nicknamed Grandpa. We've got an EVP where he told us he likes that nickname. He likes to mess with you when you're in the bathroom. I know that sounds horrible, but he doesn't actually usually come in or anything like that. He did mess with the door with me one time. But usually what you tend to hear is whistling. That's a very common thing. Some people nickname him Whistler because of that also. Sounds like him like running up the steps or somebody running up that walkway there because it's loud, you can hear it. Things being thrown in that direction, stuff like that. So there used to be an urban legend that we've heard ever since Adam purchased the building 3 years ago that a woman had gone missing and supposedly she was buried in our floor. We've had mediums come through and tell us that somebody had died here and was buried here, stuff like that. So when we had ghost hunters here, and when they came out, they actually told them that story and they wanted to bring in cadaver dogs. So they brought in 2 cadaver dogs that were like training ones. The first one comes through, she goes through the whole building, she gets down here, comes in here. About right here, she does a little pat and tell that something's here. They take that one out, they bring the other one in, same thing, goes through the whole building, nothing until here, gets about here, does a little tap, and looks at the owner like there's something here. So they take those 2 dogs out, and Ghost Hunters is like, can we bring in ground penetrating radar? We're like, please, we want somebody to look, we want to know, So they went through this whole basement with it. Here, about 2.5 foot down, they found a football-sized anomaly. So then they're like, can we dig? So they're like, Adam's like, yeah, just don't take down my building, go ahead and dig, They dug 2.5 foot down, nothing. The excavators were puzzled because they're like, if it's that big of an anomaly, there should be something here. So they went ahead and they dug 3 foot, still nothing. So then they bring in Lake County, which is the county we're in now, active canine unit. They come in, he wouldn't even go through the building. Got to the dining room and he kept pulling down here. So they let him go, he pulled, he ran all the way down here, came running in here. The dirt pile was still here. He went on top of the dirt pile and did the tell that something was here. So there's a couple different theories with that. 30 years ago, the building would have been empty. Dogs can sense cadavers up to 30 years. So it wouldn't have been the woman we thought it would have been, which we were told happened at like the turn of the century. Many things with that. The building was empty at that time. People had access. It got broken into all the time. Somebody could have died here and then they moved the body. As long as it started to decompose, the dog was still sensed as a cadaver. So they would, even if it just seeped into the ground. Something was here and then moved. We don't know for sure what exactly happened here. We didn't find anything, or maybe we didn't dig over far enough. Maybe it's over here. I don't know, but we do get a lot of response if you're in here talking about the murder or talking about her going missing or talking about the hole being open now, stuff like that. These are front-facing windows, so that's to the road. So there's lights all the time. You can tell those windows are there. But you get asking these questions in this room, sometimes it'll get so dark and so heavy that you have a hard time seeing that. And as you investigate, you know how your eyes kind of adjust and you can start seeing where your hands are at and stuff like that. It won't be the case. It's just the weirdest experience ever. There is a woman in this room and a man, and a lot of times, like if you're using a spirit box or anything like that, you'll hear her start to talk, and then usually he'll boom in over top of her super loud, like shutting her up. Caretaker's wing. Over here is patient side. That was, we thought was Nixon's office originally, but like I said, his children were out recently and told us no, that wasn't his office, that was actually a sitting room. That this was actually Nixon's office and any of the caretakers over here prior. We actually had 3 more. We had Weber, Neal, Wheeler, and then Nixon. Nixon was here for a very long time, and we know the most about him, so we talk about him the most. He would have lived over there with his family and his children. Over here would have been like 24-hour care patients or people who need it, like if they had to get to them right away. Paranormal. There's a black mass that has been reported, seen coming up and down these hallways. That room is a good room for EVP work and flashlight play. If you guys use mag lights at all, that's a good room. They usually respond pretty well with that. We've had K2s off in there. Nixon's bedroom. We actually found out about one of our caretakers, Neil. His wife actually committed suicide in this building. I just found this out because I signed up for Ancestry and I found a bunch of newspaper articles about the Neils. He wasn't military, and everybody here was military. So they really didn't want him to be superintendent because he wasn't military. So they got word that they were actually going to be thrown out and be homeless because they gave up everything to move here, him and his wife and his stepdaughter, or her stepdaughter. So she, that night, found out about it. They said that she was in her bedroom and then passed through his bedroom to get, at 3 o'clock in the morning, to get a drink of water. Came back through, bent down, kissed him on the forehead, came back to her room. She took a revolver, wrapped it in bed sheets, and then shot herself in the chest with it. And her 15-year-old stepdaughter actually found her the next morning. Jesus. We just recently found out about that, and it would have been one of these 2 rooms here. We don't know which one for sure, because you could pass through both, so I don't know what way her path actually would have been, but that's how they described it, as she passed through his bedroom. So I was thinking it might have been this one, because that's the living room. She would have went out to go get a drink that way. So we haven't investigated a whole lot along those lines. You could try to see, maybe something you might want to try tonight. Her name, he had 2 wives that died. Yeah, and if you look up their obituaries, it just says Mrs. Otis Neal for both of them. So I don't have first names for them. I'm still trying to figure out what their names were. It was believed at first that a little girl was 8 years old. She got dropped off here. The caretakers kind of took her under their wing and cared for her, and she raised up and had her own life. We do get a little girl spirit that comes around that says she's Sarah. We also get an elderly sounding woman that comes across that says she's Sarah. There's many theories behind that. One being Sarah's a very popular name. We could possibly have two spirits named Sarah, especially back then. Sarah was very popular. I think we had like 15 women die here that were named Sarah. Another thing is when Adam started coming here back in 2011 was the first time he ever investigated this building. It was before he owned it. And he came here and both of these doors were shut. On that door there was a little sticky note that said Sarah's room. He comes in, sees toys on the floor, starts investigating like he's talking to a child. You start getting hits that you're talking to a child. That is a form of, a thought form is what they call it. You kind of create, the energy kind of creates its own haunting. There's a theory that in the UK somewhere they did some kind of study where they built a brand new house, talked about this kid who was in there and hung himself, and then they sent in a group of investigators. This never happened in the house, it was all made up, but they got evidence saying that there was this kid that hung himself, even to the name that they used. I can't remember if it was Ryan or something, or David.
Something like
It was a common name, but
yeah.
not important to the story. When Ghost Hunters was here, they actually asked Adam if he ever heard of a thought form. And
No,
not thought form,
slow
a
burn.
slow burn.
Yes.
And Adam's like, I've been doing this for over 10 years now. No, I've never heard of a slow burn. What is it? And I guess it's like a demon that like nestles in and then starts demanding or asking for things, and that gives it more energy the more you give it. Adam's first public hunt here, when he had his first one, he did an active EVP session and asked, what would you like? And they got one word, money. And then that night, a woman asked, can I leave some money? And Adam's like, yes, please do. People leave Sarah all kinds of things, including toys, money. Actually, the floor below us that has all those toys in it, a lot of those are Sarah's toys. We were running out of room in here because everybody brings something for Sarah. So if it is a slow burn, we're basically feeding this energy by bringing it stuff, doing things for it. Because we literally, when we're cleaning the building, we'll ask the spirits, what would you like to see? Would you like purple flowers? Would you like purple drapes? You know, we try to get responses that way. So are we doing something we shouldn't be doing by feeding this energy? We don't know. I actually had an experience with that happened to me, 3 weeks ago? I don't get scared. I don't get freaked out. I love this stuff. If I hear a noise, I'm the first one going towards it. I was in here and we were talking about Sarah, and all of a sudden my neck started burning. Oh no, they asked the question. I told them the slow burn part. And one of the guests said, so what is your opinion? What do you think? And I said, matter of factly, I don't think Sarah is a child. And as I was walking out that door, I looked at her and I said, you need to look at my neck when we get outside. Because I started feeling a burning. Went across my whole entire back of my neck, almost felt like sunburn. And it wasn't even that hot out that day. I hadn't been out in the sun. We went up, and throughout the whole tour, the rest of the tour, I started feeling nauseous. By the time I got to the asylum, my legs were like shaky, weak. I was looking at her like, oh my God, you're gonna take over this tour. I can't do this. We finally get outside, still burning like crazy. She checks my neck. It looked like sunburn, she said. What, 10 minutes later?
10, 15 minutes later,
It was gone.
it was gone.
And didn't come back, and I did not have sunburn. So either I made somebody very mad by saying I didn't believe they were Sarah, or I don't know what happened for sure. That's the first time anything, I've been like a little touch, stuff like that. I've never been actually physically harmed in this building until that night. That chair was actually a dental chair that they didn't use as just a dental chair. They would use it for lobotomies, for shock treatment. If you were a biter, they pull your teeth out and you didn't have to worry about you anymore. And not to mention, they were brought here for ungodly reasons. We had the women that would be dropped off by their husbands because she didn't agree with my politics, or she had an opinion at all. She smiled too much. I'm having an affair and I want this other woman now, so here, take my wife, she's crazy, and run off with this other wife. Also, people back then who would have things simple as Down syndrome would have been put here, unfortunately. And a lot of these people were not insane or crazy, but by the time they went through all these treatments in the name of medicine, and I get that they were trying to fix things, but they did torture them.
Yeah.
And so before we go to the asylum, I just asked that everybody use respect up there. We're trying to make their lives a little bit better than what they had, we hope. In the afterlife, if they are stuck here for some reason, we do tell them all the time, you're free to go. We've had people walk through and tell them where the light is. We don't know why some of them stay, and we've actually had people say we've crossed them over. So hopefully, we don't make them stay here, is my bottom line. And I would like to see them all go on if they can. This is the recreation room. I use recreation very loosely because, like I said, downstairs, a lot of them would have been wheelchair bound, drugged up, just coming back from treatments like they had. There wouldn't have been a whole lot other than maybe music. As we got into the 50s and 60s, TV and stuff, probably checkers, cards, stuff like that, painting, art crafts. This is one of the most active places in the whole entire building. People have been scratched, bit, pushed, disembodied voices, full-on shadow figures, what we refer to as the crawlers.
The crawlers.
Disembodied voices, footsteps. The crawler I actually seen one night on Fire Watch. Before we had a fire system, we had to do a walkthrough every hour to make sure nothing was catching fire and report back. I came across that threshold. She was behind me, and like I said, I'm not one to get jumpy. And this black crawler, I don't even know what else to call it, this black blob went shooting creepily across the floor that way. I actually took a step back and jumped and was like, oh. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I don't know what that was. And I actually came running in to make sure that it wasn't like a raccoon or something, but it would have been like a big raccoon. And I didn't know about crawlers in the building at that time. I was a newbie. I went downstairs, told them what I saw. They said, oh, you met our crawlers. I'm like, thanks for warning me. Poltergeist activity. This doll actually sat on that chair for 9 days straight. We were live on Paranormal Warehouse. Broad daylight, probably around this time of the day. It was over here, and all of a sudden she just goes flying off forward, off the chair. Nobody in the building, daytime. We came back to reenact it to try to figure out how she fell. And you can literally push her quite a bit, and she generally falls to the side or into the chair. She hardly ever falls forward. On the video, she actually goes this way. And she has like one of those flat bottom batteries, so she's heavy. And so she sits there all the time. We don't move her ever. And another one of those unexplained things. We tried jumping around her, we tried moving her, and she just couldn't reenact it. There's a friendly spirit down here whose name is Rudy. His name's actually carved into the floor and into the windowsill. We found he's a little bit timid. He tends to like to stay in that area. And like if you take a mag light or a K2 or anything that lights up also down there, and then you come down here and investigate, he feels safer and you usually get more activity than if you're right down there on him. And his voice on the spirit box, you could almost hear his speech impediment. That's how I always know when it's him. You could actually hear it. So that's kind of cool. Nicknamed the Mind Warp Room. Because when you're in there, she kind of likes to make your mind kind of wonky. Some people feel off balance, nauseous, stuff like that, headaches. Emotions get affected in here very easily. I actually did have to be taken out of this room over having a breakdown. Another volunteer was on Most Terrifying for this. He had a partial possession. But once they left the room and got him outside, he was fine. Same with me when I was having mine. And there's like, I can't say it was a possession because it was more of like, I could hear the words coming out of my mouth and I could feel how emotional I was, but I couldn't stop it. This room here, some people have deemed it the throat punch room. Oh. Actually, Adam, the owner, actually seen one of our volunteers was walking out of here after kind of being kind of bulky in here to the spirit. And as he walked out, he kind of got like clotheslined and he fell to the floor and couldn't breathe. I feel it's just a spirit that's had too much. If you come in being a jerk to him, he's going to be a jerk right back. This room here is John's room. We've actually gotten the name John from him a couple times. And we've learned also he is very timid like Rudy. If you knock on the door and say, hey John, we're coming in, you get more of a response than if you just go in and don't announce yourself. He kind of shuts down and you don't get much. Down at the end of the hallway down there, you get what we call the peepers. Look like two little kids almost, kid size.
All these creepy names you guys have.
And they'll like sometimes do it in unison. So some people would actually nickname them the twins because they look like two the same thing.
You see him? Where do you see him at?
When those two doors are open, there's two little rooms over there each side.
You see like poking their heads out like at the very end there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're over here, same thing over there. You get all the different types of hauntings. But they're fun over here too. Like we find if you do the knocking, they'll knock back at you. Or if you ask them to finish shaving a haircut, sometimes they will.
Sometimes you'll get that. Oh, cool. Okay.
Stuff like that. They like lights, they like music. Over there, especially the swing music, they love.
We are getting ready to do some ghost hunting stuff. It's still daylight, but whatever. It is absolutely hot as balls upstairs. So we are going to start downstairs, and we're going to kind of work our way up. There's some spots that we kind of want to wait till it's a little bit darker out, but I think first we're going to head to the hole, as they called it. And yeah, it's just us three tonight, so it'll be nice not having to worry about contamination and crap like we did at Mansfield. Because there was a lot of people there. On the way to the hole, on the way to the hole. I don't think so. Alright, so we're going to do just basically a little EVP session. I'm going to ask some questions and stuff. Getting that down, make it nice and dark in here. I said it's still daylight out, but alright.
I'm sure you're familiar with the device that's there on the bars. All you have to do is touch it and it'll light up a bunch of lights. I've got a recorder in my hand that you can talk into. I can hear you. If you could you touch that? If there's somebody with us here right now? Did they dig in the right spot? If there's somebody down here with us, could you make a loud noise? If you were trying to say something, can you say it louder? Do you think you could touch that little box there, please?
So now we are in the laundry room. This is where our tour guide told us that they had like different EMF meters on the different steps, and they would ask it questions. And you said it was like a yes, no, maybe kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what we have is the top. We have your normal EMF reader and the Mel meter, which also has EMFs. And at the bottom, we have a cat toy. So we had some success with that at Mansfield. If you haven't seen that episode, you should watch it. So yeah, I guess we're just going to kind of base it off of that. So,
All right. So if there's anybody here in this room with us right now, we have those 3 devices on the steps. What we're going to do is, if you could, we're going to ask you yes or no and maybe questions, or however you want to answer them.
And all you need to do is touch the device.
Yes, so we'll do the top as yes, we'll do the bottom as no, and we'll do the middle step as maybe, if you're not sure about something. So if you understand us or you're here with us right now, do you think you could touch that top device for us there, the little green light? Is there anybody here with us? Could you please touch that green light? It'll light up a bunch of other colors. It's not going to hurt you.
Josh, talking to the creepy nun doll. What do I ask it? I don't know.
Ask it its name, I guess.
Oh God. Can you tell me what your name is, creepy nun doll?
Not like that.
You don't know what its prerogative is. What's your name? I noticed you were looking at me while I was over there. And I swear you've moved. Can you move for us now? Feel like heavy traffic noise right now. It's hard to tell because I can only hear it through there and it sounds weird through the headset.
Right.
They also have these little ball, if you touch it, it'll light up. And then this gray box thing, if you touch that, it'll light up as well. It's like the biggest yeehaw truck ever that's going by right now. Oh my God. What do you feel about Yeehaw I feel like I'm interviewing it.
Kind of are.
She's not scowling as much over this way either since you moved.
Do you like Mel more than me? Are you a good doll or a bad doll? Did you just make a noise? I remember 2 minutes and like 40 some seconds. That was weird. If that was you, can you make that noise again?
Can you please make one of those little things light up?
You're in a little religious outfit. Are you a religious spirit haunting this doll? Can you blink for us? We are going up to the second floor. It is now dark. We just kind of sat around for a while. We don't know exactly where we're going, but this place definitely gives off a creepy vibe, though. Where to? Where would you guys like to go? It's really creepy how they have like just random furniture and stuff, just kind of. Here's the kitchen. Here you go. We're gonna wheel around and have our meal. So yeah, what we're doing right now is we are we're doing the same thing we did at Mansu. If you watched the episode, basically Mel's going to be first. She has the SP11 is what it's called, right, Kim? Kim?
Yes.
Okay. And basically, we're going to be asking questions. She has noise canceling headphones on. She cannot hear what we say, but if she hears any response she hears, she's going to say it out loud, and we're going to see if it correlates with what we're asking. And we're each going to ask 5 questions per person that's in the chair. So you can go ahead and put them on, Mel, and then we will get started. Can you please tell us, what is your first name?
If you're in this room with us right now, what is your name?
Did you kill yourself here?
Huh?
Are you hearing anything?
No, just.
How many people have died in this building?
I heard a guy's voice, but I couldn't make out what he said.
Okay.
I just heard someone say, please.
Please what? If you really killed yourself, why would you do that to your children? Don't you think that was pretty selfish? Say it clearer. Would you like to talk to somebody else? Who would you like to talk to in this room? Alright, now we got Kim in the hot seat. Alright. Now you are speaking with Kim, is who's in the chair. Would you like to tell her something?
Excuse me?
Would you like to tell Kim, the person in the chair, something? Why did you kill yourself?
Was it in this room? Was it in the room behind me?
Do you remember Otis?
Can you tell us your name? I'm lost. Where are you lost at? Are you looking to cross over?
The place you're at, is it dark or light?
Are you looking for something?
Right, so we just got done with that. I'm not really feeling anything particular on this floor, but I do want to kind of just walk around and show you guys just this place. And, you know, they really do have it done up. Now, is there really any rhyme or reason to all the stuff that's here? Does anyone know?
They're trying to recreate it.
Kind of like it as it was?
Yeah, that's why, like, when they found out...
Just plus 1,000 more baby dolls.
Somebody came in and actually said that this was actually a living room. They thought it was the bedroom, so they're actually in the process of moving everything into the other rooms.
All right.
They just set it up because they thought that this was the living room or the bedroom because of the way it was shaped or something like that. I don't know.
The unfortunate thing is with the road, there's so much road noise coming from here. We're going to try and move to a different floor, but I just kind of want to... Oh, what the... Why? Oh, you smell that?
That's dead something.
Oh, God, yuck.
Like in the wall or something.
Okay. Ugh. That was... God, if there was only smell-o-vision. Dear God.
That was really gross.
That was extraordinarily gross. But yeah, I mean, the building definitely has a creep factor. There's definitely a lot that is reported to happen here. So we're hoping that, you know, it gets a little more active as the night goes on. It is still early. It's what? It is 10 right now. A little after. What was this room?
They're not really sure, but they thought it was an office, but apparently it's the one that's next door.
Okay.
I think this was like a study or something sitting
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. As you see, there's this giant mural on the wall.
Did you see the really
Map.
creepy drawing too on the wall?
What is it?
That I believe might be
It's like a
from
symbol?
that house.
From the yeah, there's been a lot of different paranormal shows and stuff that have been here. But I think now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to the floor above us. And I'm kind of feeling, I just want to go straight to it. I want to go to the little kids' room. That seems like a pretty active one, and maybe we can do some different stuff in there. Feels creepy to come in here, especially in the dark, because, oh geez, you just see all these little faces. Like, look at that one. So I'm going to sit down on this chair and have my back turned to these. That'll be good. We have some K2 and the little cat toy and a ball there, which she is known to play with these things. People also give her money. They talk about that at the tour. So we're going to just kind of start asking questions and all that stuff. So, all right. So yeah.
Sarah, if you're here with us right now, could you touch one of those devices on the floor? You can touch the little gray box and a bunch of lights will light up. Or that little ball. If you push that around, it'll light up and strobe and do all that. Or if you can even push that big red ball there, that would be awesome. You think you could do that for us? Please? If there's somebody in this room besides Sarah, could you light up one of those devices there?
The tour guide was telling us earlier that a lot of people don't actually believe that you're Sarah at all. I think we'd be more inclined to believe that you're actually a kid if you did kid things and played with one of your toys here. Because I don't know, I'm kind of leaning on the fact that you're probably not a child. Would you like some money? If you'd like some money, touch one of these toys. I have $5, but I don't really want to give it to him. I will give you $5, which adjusted for inflation, that's firework. Adjusted for inflation, it's pretty good. If you move the red ball, you have to move the red ball though, and you have to move it a bit. I'll give you $5. I will. I have it in my pocket. No, you don't. It's in the car. But if you move it, I promise I will bring you $5. I will go to the car, and I will bring you $5. But you got to move the ball, and you got to move it significantly.
Roll it towards him.
Roll it towards me. You don't have to roll it towards me. Roll it somewhere. Come on, I heard you like money.
If you're not Sarah, what's your name? Do you like that they keep bringing more and more dolls in this room? Can you light up one of those devices if you do? If someone's in this room with us, can you please touch the gray box and light it up?
Sarah, how old are you?
Sarah, what are you?
You want a piece of gum?
Move the big red ball, I'll give you that $5 too. And a piece of gum, get both. I got a 2-for-1 deal. All you gotta do is move a stupid ball.
Well, any of those devices, just give them a kick.
You would rock that rocking horse.
Yeah, you can even do that. Just give that a kick.
Give Kim a kick. That'll be fun.
Well, no, don't give me a kick.
You kick me. Not my camera, me though.
Please, Sarah, we came a long way to come and visit you. We'd really like to talk to you.
So we have not been having the most success tonight, but now, because there's this little doll over here that's eyes, light up, and apparently it's also motion activated, which no one told us. Gotta do it again. Yeah. What the hell? Jesus.
Well, this is the original building. This is what they normally call like the Civil War section.
Yeah, this is the oldest part, and we're just gonna kind of do an EVP section. We're not really 100% sure, I guess, what exactly is supposed to haunt this, but I know they say that they see shadow figures down the hall and EVPs and stuff like that. So we're just gonna kind of do an EVP session in here.
If there's anybody in this room with us, if you could tell us your name, that would be awesome. I can hear you if you just talk into this red light right here. We also have some things on this table. Over there, I'm sure you're familiar with that little gray contraption there with the green light. If you touch it, it'll light up a bunch of other colors. And then this thing is a little cat toy. If you bump it, it'll strobe and light up with a bunch of different colors as well. You think you could touch one of those? Let us know you're here.
This is the basement where the tour guide told us basically they do not like men, so I'm going to shut the door and I'm going to leave them for like 10-15 minutes and they're just going to kind of do their own thing. Yeah. And I'll be back in 10-15 minutes. It's 10:26, so see you then.
They might die from mold. Who knows?
Swipes. Don't match it, just in case.
It's like a really moldy bookshelf over in the corner, so who knows? All right. By the way, my name is Kim and this is Mal. Could you tell us your name? We heard you don't like men. Is that true?
Josh isn't down here, so you want to talk to us?
What do you think about the fact that the person that owns this building is a man? That's a fly, right?
Yeah, I still hear it.
Right. Do you like the ladies being here?
name some stuff. If you could just come over to this little gray box here and just light it up when I get to something that you like. How about fishing? Do you like to hunt? You like to shoot guns? How about playing cards? Or just gambling in general? Do you like to gamble? How about drinking? Boating? How about painting? Do you like to paint? Do you like to just hang out in general? If there's anybody in this room at all with us, can you please make a noise? It's gotta be loud though so we can hear it. Hello? It's like dead in here. Literally, yeah. I'm starting to think you guys don't exist. Don't you want to talk to us? Couple of ladies? There's no men anywhere around right now. He's way over there. It's just us. We came here specifically for you. We wanted to talk to you because we heard you like to talk to the ladies. But you ain't talking. It's kind of rude. Fly again. Yeah, we're getting more action from the fly that's running around here. We thought you were going to try to scare us.
Anything fun?
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yay, more nothingness.
Yeah.
Okay. Record. All right, we are in the place with the things now. We are going into the Asylum, and that'll be ending our night. It's a pretty uneventful night, but when we were kind of sitting out here just doing some stuff, we didn't really record it, but we heard walking in here actually, and Mel said she saw like a shadow or something. So, and that is one of the reports is down the one hallway that people see shadows. But yeah, this is the Asylum. The other thing we heard in here was that what he likes being called, yeah, not doctor. Oh look, they have a mask. Doctor bag up there, that's cool. Ooh, look at that. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Yeah, Mel, God, I can't. I'm gonna try. Let me go out here and, no, she's getting the recorder ready. Said that, she was talking earlier that the shadow figures, you can see them at the end of the hallway peeping out there's two doors on the sides there. Oh, and they're just little creepy holes in the wall. Not gonna lie, real intense feeling of just kind of being watched. It's probably just because of all the creepy open doorways. And they also said that what they like to respond to the shaving and haircut a lot up here.
Yeah. So we figured we'd come in here and talk to the doctor.
That's really creepy. Huh. I thought I saw something in the room we were just in. Which kind of seems to be what's going on every night. It's like all nights we go into one room and then it seems like it goes somewhere else. But let's see. If you're here, can you finish this? Give us something. What happened? What happened again?
Last time I was here with a group, we sat down at the end of the hall and we were kind of spread out, and I just kept staring at this room right here. And as I was staring at it, I saw a shape of a person, but it was like sparkles. Like almost like somebody had thrown glitter and it was just sparkling down, but it was in the shape of a person.
And that was this door here?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was there for quite a while, and then it just kind of disappeared. It was really freaky and weird. I've never seen that before. So it was kind of a neat experience.
It's kind of funny that you say that because in Mel's here, because that's very similar to what I saw that time at Beaver Marsh. When Mel felt something go through her, it was like that. It looked like sparkly green. I don't even know how to describe it. It was really strange. It was like the sparkly blob of a person type of thing. So that's actually kind of interesting. Basically, we're just going to be silent here and just kind of watch and listen for a few minutes. So that's going to do it for us tonight. It seemed like a really uneventful night. The building's really cool, and hopefully you enjoyed kind of going along the ride with us. There's still a lot to go over as far as like voice recordings and stuff goes, so maybe there'll be something there and we'll insert it if there is. But if not, well, hopefully you enjoy us on our haunted adventure.